Good evening to episode 33 of the DMC live chat. We've got a stranger with us this week, new boy. We'll have to tell you, we'll have to fill you in about what he's about and what he does and stuff like that. But it's always a pleasure to welcome back my partner in crime, Mr. Martin Dare. Good evening, Martin.
Evening, people.
Some dude called Luke, who we welcome back with open arms. He has been sorely missed, and we don't know what his channel's called this week. So, Luke, who knows this week, has joined us.
Evening, guys.
Good evening, buddy. We're hoping to be joined by Brian, who's just got back from his job. He's having something to eat, and he'll join us shortly, and possibly one of our taverners will be joining us, but we'll play that by ear. I've just sent him a link, and we'll see if he can get on. Straight into the chat. Evening, Warren. Stand by for action. Good evening, Mr. Ian Ullisa. Welcome back, Luke.
Evening, Ian.
Good evening.
Fun seeing you.
See you, mate. Ian has sent us a couple of questions. We did ask. I'll get it into the nitty-gritty of stuff in a bit. We'll give everybody 5-10 minutes to log on. So whilst we're doing that, we'll go through the precursor. My thanks, as always. A special shout out goes to this month's benefactors who help support the DMC by donating a minimum of £2 up to whatever they choose to donate. They are the lifeblood of our little host, our little show here. So thanks to them. They pay through PayPal and help in our running costs. So thanks to somebody called PJ, Phil, Luke, Martin, Tony, Lee, Brian, John, Moz, and Fraser, this month's benefactors. It's much appreciated, chaps. On behalf of Martin and Luke and the rest of the taverners, thank you very much. If you'd like to become a benefactor and help support our running costs, please use the link paypal.me/DMC admin and donate as you feel free, as much as you wish. So that's that out the way. Good evening to Jerry. Jessica, how are you, mate? Good to see you.
Hey, Jerry. How are you, buddy?
We did ask the last time I was online if everybody got a couple of questions they could ask us, and lo and behold, Mr. Hulley's asked a couple of questions. So we'll bring them into play. We've been joined by our guest this week, who I'll bring online, Mr. Mick Manley. Here he is.
All right, Mick.
Hi, Mick.
Don't tell me you've got sound problems, Mick. You've got no sound. He'll be right back. Okay. He's got sound issues.
You won't have to allow his microphone.
Yeah, we went through this the other day.
Yeah, okay. If he's got Chrome, he'll have to do what I do, go on Chrome.
Yeah. No, I've got nothing, Mick.
He'll chip in a minute anyway when he's.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Okay. So yeah, old and achy. Right. So what we'll do is, without going into too much detail on to protect the guilty and the innocent, we'll be careful what we say here. But Luke's had a bit of a rough time of it over the last few weeks. He can divulge as little or as much as he chooses to do so. He's totally open. We've been here to support him. Luke, do you want to bring us up to a speed with whatever you wanted to bring us up to speed with, where you are, and
how long you got?
Yeah, well, 2 hours.
Yeah, take it away, bro. Take it away.
It could be the Luke Sampson show for all I care.
Now, I stepped back from the diecast slightly because I was concentrating on getting my camper van done. You all heard this last night. What a disaster I've had with that thing. I've sold that recently. The guy picked it up last night. We had a bit of a hiccup in my shed. Lindy left the door unlocked, and I had some bits go missing out the shed. So that's sort of set me back, a good few weeks waiting to, it's a do replacing everything, as you well know. So we're finally back up and running. I've had the Jag on my bench. You still no good, Vic?
Can't hear you, mate. I can't go through technical issues while we're live, but basically we can see you, Mick, but I can't hear you. So whatever you did last time worked, and now it's not. You'll try again. Okay.
I think you might need to allow the microphone.
Yeah, it comes up, doesn't it? Say allow microphone. He needs to press them 3 buttons at the top of the screen, and it comes on allow Chrome access. As you press that, it will come on.
He says he's going to keep. He's started in the chat. He'll keep in the private chat. He'll keep trying. All right, mate. Keep trying. Yeah. Sorry. Go on, Luke.
Yeah. So anyway, finally got everything all near enough back in here. Had a little problem with my compressor not keeping up with my paint gun, so that's gone back today, and I've had to order another one that won't be here now till Tuesday. New print has come. That's behind me. I don't know if you can see it there.
Yeah, just
wash. Not as big as that thing you've got, PJ.
The thing is, Luke, it's now that small that I can't see it. So you
count that.
You won't be able to win, mate.
You won't win. You won't win, boy. No, you won't win.
So, but I was halfway through this, and I've actually finished it today, so I'm quite proud of that.
That's really nice.
The backlights I had to make for this, they were missing. Again, they're sprues. I've got to put the number plates on it yet and wait for them to come. So I'll put some little side repeaters on.
Yeah. It needs them.
Plastic ones.
Yeah.
So chuffed with that. And that's about where I am, really. Getting back to normal.
No. So Luke has, as we said to Luke last night, this isn't. We don't beg for people or ask for people, but Luke has been very good to all of us in donating vehicles and doing stuff for us. So we'll help him out as much as we can. He knows that. And
cheers, boys.
It's good to see he's got most of his stuff. Thanks, Russ. So sorry, just nipping into the chat. Good evening, Russ, Jerry, Ian.
Russ.
Hi, Russ.
Ian.
As you can see, we've been joined by Mick, but Mick's having problems, so we may have to rearrange this, Mick, for when we can get your sound working again, and then we'll bring Brian on board. Yeah, it's frozen. Yeah, okay.
Let's go back on the subs bench.
Back on the subs bench, yeah.
Back on the subs bench.
I'll play it by you for a few seconds. Thanks, Russ. Yeah, it looks good now. My image wanted mirroring. So let's start with what we've been doing this week. Mr. Martin Desser, back in the house.
Yeah, I'm back home now. I come home the other day. Picked up my new mat, as you've all seen in Loopy Loo. The old boy's named Ron, the Ron, and he's an absolute nutcase. He is a nutcase, but in a good way, and he's so funny. But having got that, I did adjust my fencing as I so thought, but this fencing had to be adjusted yet again because he's like an Olympic athlete, mate. He can go and he's over. But anyway, none of that. He's good boy. Pleased to have him. Die-cast wise, I'm working on the Matchbox 1200 Volkswagen Beetle. It's all painted. It just wants assembling now. The details putting on. I've had a lot of things to do, so I'm a little bit behind at the moment on what I've got on the bench. But I have got a. I'm hoping to do the JCB crawler by Corgi. I'm hoping to get that in this month. If not, it'll be something else. I've got them on the I've got them on the bench lined up, and I do the eeny meeny miny mo bit. What am I going to do? So that's where I am at the minute. So hopefully tomorrow evening I'll get back on the bench, because it's been a few days doing this fencing and sorting out stuff and other bits and pieces, and taking him out for a walk now. So I'm now going to be the Slim Jim. It's he's such a curious boy, mate. He is. He's met the cows, he's met the sheep, and everything else, because I live right near the river. So it's all good fun. It's all good fun. Sorry, Mick, you're not on it, mate. Yeah. So that's me at the minute.
Good stuff. We've been joined by Brian. Good evening, Brian. How are you, buddy?
Good evening.
Yep. Brian.
Just
Right,
in.
right.
Yeah, good sound. Mick still problems. We'll just have to keep removing him and re-adding him as and when. So Brian's rushed on, bless him, just back from work. So thanks for that, mate. It's good to see you as always. Give you a minute. What have I done anything diecast wise? Of course not. Why would I be? I mean, it's a diecast channel, isn't it? God forbid.
Have you been buying stuff, PJ, by any chance?
I've been buying stuff. Well, it's funny you should say that. I actually owe Dare a favour, because usually he spends me money, but he's actually saved me some money this time around with the purchase last night. And there's no, as much as he complains about me talking about 3D, he helped me out last night. He doesn't know it, but he did. I was after a mini, the world's smallest reciprocating saw that you could find. And I saw a couple of electronic ones. And the idea was that when you 3D print something, I want to be able to cut the supports off to get the model off the bed. And I said to the boys last night, has anybody come across a saw that you can do it with? And Martin said, well, why don't you get, what did you call it, Martin?
Razor saw.
A razor saw, that was it. So lo and behold, I had a look on Amazon. And when I was going to spend about, I don't know, 40 or 50 quid, Martin suggested this saw. These, wow. Bear with me, sorry. These handles are all pretty common, but it's the blade that makes the difference in this instance. So I don't know whether you can see.
Yeah, curved blade,
Yeah.
And it's just one of these clamping handles, But that's like that, Martin, is the answer to my problem.
Did it work?
I've got to print something else off first, but it will do. It's exactly what I'm after.
Yeah,
it's
it'll be
right.
fine, mate, for that.
Yeah, so I'm happy with that.
Box of plasters next to you, and you'll be fine.
So we've got Mick. Mick. Hang on, he's going to try and plug something else in. Mick, can you hear us? We can't hear you still.
I can hear you. Can you hear
right,
me?
I hear you. Yeah.
Hey.
Yes. Don't move. Don't move. Take your fingers out your ears. Don't move. Sit there. Be quiet. Shut up.
Okay, I'll do that for you. No problem. Anything else you'd like? Tea, biscuits, pair of slippers, perhaps?
Yeah. Right. Well done, mate. Well persevered with. Good. That
well, let's just say words were said. I won't repeat them if you don't mind.
So yeah, I've done a few 3D prints. My granddaughter wanted one of these linked dragons that you can get. I tried it and it failed miserably. Then I had another go, and I came up with it's almost like a scratch build. One part pro.
Yeah.
So I've joined the two heads together and made it into a double-headed linked dragon. So we did that. Our mate John Atwell asked me to have a look at doing Eddie from Iron Maiden, the mascot from Iron Maiden. It's not the one that he asked me for. I was going to do a Trooper one, but this is from the Killers album, if you're familiar with Iron Maiden. We did that. And then I've done a couple of Jerry Anderson models, which is Sid from UFO, which is the Space Intruder Detector, and from Captain Scarlet stroke UFO, the Lunar Hopper model. This one wants a lot of work doing to it. The print wasn't brilliant, so you can see there's only one pad on one leg. I've got to reattach the pads and do that. So yeah, we've got more than one 3D printer back in the group. So well done, Luke. We had a bit of fun over the model that he's got, but he's on the same track as I am with an Elegoo, which I can't. I'm not being sponsored. I wish we were. God knows, I wish we were. But that Elegoo printer that I've got, the 16K, it's never let me down yet. And I think the only reason it does let you down is the file. If you've got a crap file, it doesn't print well. Luke, go on, mate.
Yeah, just going back to that 3D print you've held up there with the feet missing. Was that done on the Elegoo?
Yeah.
It was.
But the pads are so.
That's right. Yeah.
The legs are so thin. They're less than, I don't know, half a mil.
Very flimsy. Yeah.
Very flimsy.
Did you build that on a raft?
Yeah.
You did.
The raft supports were as thick as the legs, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
it was very easy. I'm going to use a terrible word here. Very easy to pull it away and pull the whole lot away in one go. Like, hence my fantastic new saw that I'm going to be using.
I'll put it somewhere safe.
I've got a challenge coming tomorrow.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to, Mr. Brian Ray.
Yes.
What have you been up to, sir?
I've been fishing.
Good man. Good man.
Lots of fishing. Lots and lots of fishing. Lots of fishing, not so much dice cast. Been buying plenty, but I think everybody that watches my channel knows the ongoing saga of tradesmen and trying to get someone to do a base for my shed. Well, it looks like that problem's being negated because it looks like we're buying a house. So the house I've looked at has got a fantastic shed in the back already. So if that all goes through, saves me having to do it here. So happy days on that front.
It's a bit of a bugger, isn't it? When the first thing you look at nowadays, if you're a restorer, is how big's the shed? Never mind the house.
Yeah.
How big's the shed?
The even nicer thing is there's a lot more room, so I'll be actually be able to display some of the bloody things that I've managed to pick up, which would be great. But with regards to Elegoo, let's put it out there. Elegoo, there's plenty of us here.
Yeah.
We'd love to review your products. Come see us.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it would be, I mean, it'd be great if there was like half a dozen of these printers around and anybody that's within the DMC could pluck bits from us, couldn't they?
Well, our mate Moz from Moz 6510 Models is also trying to convince Elegoo to send him one. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, it's only on approval. It's only on approval. You can have it back if we don't like it.
Yeah. And obviously Luke only wants small ones, so we'll.
Easy. You're trying to compensate for that thing you've got.
I can't argue with that. I can't argue with
My
that.
print is bigger than your one.
Yeah.
No, so with regard to bits and pieces, obviously showed a few bits that's having. I managed to pick up a few more Matchbox bits. So I got this, the Buston Reich.
Yeah, it's nice.
Ruston Bikeris little, and it didn't come with these. And I'll tell you exactly what I did. Welly do a construction kit in, I think it's Home Bargains, and in that construction kit there's a mechanical digger and there's a caterpillar, and they both got tracks, and the tracks fit perfectly. and it's £3 for 5 cars, brand new,
Yeah.
and it's got 2 sets of those, so it's cheaper than ordering a couple of sets, and they actually work. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
they
that's
actually
what we
work.
need to do. Yeah,
So that's that.
Yep.
I did get one of these a couple of weeks ago without the digger, but I managed to get one with the digger. So that was pretty cool.
They break every. It's
That's
surprising
tiny,
me
that.
how easy they break. them.
Honestly, it's as big as my thumb. Look,
Yeah.
there's my thumb. Look.
Tiny.
Yeah.
The really early Matchbox ones are absolutely minuscule. That little tanker I've got a little Esso tanker. Seriously, it fits in the tipper part of a Hoveringham Matchbox.
Oh yeah,
That's how
we'll do,
small it is.
Yeah.
That's what that garage is made for, isn't it, Mark? You know,
Yeah.
the yellow
Yeah.
and red one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's that little corgi. I think it's a Lamborghini. No, it's a Porsche. Porsche Carrera.
So,
Big pardon.
Porsche, yeah.
Is that one number
Yeah.
19?
Nice.
How to make PJ upset. There's a little Capri.
No,
Come over
I'm
all
always happy to see
unnecessary.
Capri.
The little Cougar. We were talking about that one as well. The little
Jeep,
staff
yeah.
car,
Jeep,
no,
yeah.
field car. That's it.
Field car, yeah. Yeah.
So we got the roof of that now for scanning when you get there, and a
yeah.
little budgie fire engine, which is almost identical to the Matchbox one.
Yeah.
That's about the third vehicle now that I've got where I realised the one I had must have been a budgie that I thought was a Matchbox. But I mean, honestly, if that was just sat on a table, you'd think that was a Matchbox. It's only when you actually look at there we go.
Look at the base.
On there, it actually says budgie.
Yeah.
So that's that. And that one, I actually really like that one. That Bentley Continental.
Yeah.
Missing
Yeah,
its
it'll be that.
wheel, but it's one of the steering ones with the dual lights, and it's still got most of its little emblem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think we showed that one as well. The little tipper truck. Michael very kindly sent me some links to someone selling a brand new one. Well,
Okay.
in box one, so I know what it looks like now. But that's pretty much it for new stuff, really.
Good. So, well, at this point, we'll introduce our fellow taverner and DMC member, Mr. Mick Manley, who's persevered this week with me to try and get him online. So, can you hear us, Mick? And let's.
I can indeed, gentlemen. Can you hear me?
Good lad.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for having me on board. We're looking forward to this all week.
Careful.
I know you. Oh, I
A lot
listen.
of the punishment.
I know a lot more than you realise. Believe me.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll ease you in gently, Mick. Although Mick hasn't got a YouTube channel, he's an avid restorer and takes part in our monthly challenges, which we always appreciate. Anybody taking part in our monthly challenges. So, give us a couple of items you've been working on this week, mate.
Well, so far, I've already. Unfortunately, I have them in the other room and they're watching TV at the moment. So
Okay.
I'll just tell you about them. I've done a Matchbox Ford Texaco petrol tanker.
Yeah.
I've done that. I also done the Corgi Impala Fire Chief. And there was something else, and I can't remember what it was. Can't remember what.
Diamond snorkel.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I didn't know that was a Dennis snorkel. That was.
Mm.
Normally they come in red, but I actually done mine in yellow. I was trying to Americanize it because I already have the red one, you see. So just to have something different. Whenever I get two models, I try to do one original as I can. That is, and if I get another one, well, what's the term I need? Code 3, is it? Code 3?
Yeah.
When you do your own,
What did he say,
when you do it, when you give it your own take.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I've been up to this week.
Okay. Well, we've got a series of questions for you.
Please.
You are entitled to say pass if you choose to do so.
Thank you.
They're not, some of them can be. We'll see. Let's play it by ear. We asked people in the chat a couple of weeks ago if they've got a couple of questions they want to ask the panel. So at some point If anybody's got any questions, we'll do that. We've already asked. We've already been contacted by our good friend Mr. Ian Ulley, who's got a couple of questions for us, and they're good ones as well. So we'll see what Ian was asking. So we'll do two or three of these questions, Mick, and then we'll ask one of these questions from Ian, so everybody gets to chip in and take part
Please.
as well.
Please.
And if any of the boys have got any questions for you, I'm sure they'll.
Well,
ask
that's
them
what
all.
I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
So, question one: what inspired you to become a die-cast restorer, and
Well-
how have you learned to develop your skills?
Well, to be honest with you, like everybody I can think of, everybody I know, we all started off building Airfix models, plastic kits, wherever it may be.
Mhm.
And as time went on, it was just the way we all browse YouTube just for something to do. I came across Marty's Matchbox makeovers, and I seen some of the toys that he had, some of the cars that he was doing, and I remember thinking to myself, I had them as a child, and I still have them. So I just thought I'd give it a go. I watched his video, learned how to take it apart. So that was the first thing I had to do. Now, I'm not going to tell you I got it all perfect on the first shot because I didn't. Mistakes were made. But in time, we all develop our skills, don't we? We all learn. So that's exactly how it started, really, you know? Like from going from plastic to die cast. And I've been doing die cast ever since. And someday I'll get it right.
We can all say that, mate.
Everyone's
Not
a
today.
challenge, mate. Everyone's
Just
a
not
challenge.
today. Just not today.
Okay, question two. Can you share one of the most challenging restoration projects you've worked on and how you overcame the difficulties, or just one of the most difficult die-cuts you've had to do? Or
Well, the way
that?
you see it is, if every model was easy to do, there wouldn't be much of a challenge, would they? All have a challenge of one description or another. You can get a model and it's missing an A pillar or missing an axle. Like that has to be overcome. They're challenges in themselves, aren't they?
Indeed.
So, like, you know, that's hard. That's a very hard question to answer. I don't know how to answer it.
So have you? Well, let's put it this way: have you had a vehicle with multiple parts that's been a challenge to take to pieces or put back together?
Actually, yes, I have. Hang on a second. It'd be easier if I turned this around and I'll give you an example. I know I have them in boxes. Can you see that one there?
Yeah.
And that one there?
Yeah.
Now they're both spot-ons that were given to me by Ian Holmyard, who's a very nice guy too.
Shane, yeah.
A lot of them, Shane, yeah. Or sorry, Shane Holmyard. I'm brilliant with names. Now, a lot of them had A and B pillars missing. So that's something I had to do. And, well, there's the results. There's the results there.
Come on, nice, yeah.
So it's easier to show than to explain. I'm just one of these guys. It's easier for me to show something than explain it.
We like show and tell. I'm not sure this really applies, but what type of die-cast models do you specialise in restoring? And do you have a favourite era or brand?
Actually, I do. Like my pet brands are Matchbox, Corgi, and Dinky. Why? Very simple. I grew up with them. As a child, I was always given one or the other. Now, I look at a model. There's times I don't look at a model. I'm looking at a memory. A happy memory. Like there's the Dinky Toys, not the police car, the Parisienne police car. My father gave me that when I was 10. I was 10 years old. One Christmas he gave. That's a memory and a happy one at that.
Yeah.
So I look at that and I think back to that time. Now I enjoyed restoring it. I did enjoy it, but it's a memory.
Yeah.
Does that answer the question?
Good answer, Mick.
Well, we'll pause for breath after the first three, not too painful, and we'll open the question up to the panel, put to us by Mr. Ian Ulley. What does the panel think the diecast and modelling hobby will look like in 5 years' time? I think it's a brilliant question, actually. This
Actually, it's a very good question.
In 5 years' time, I don't think it will change that much in 5 years to what it is now. There is, like we touched on yesterday in the Taverners, that older people who are collectors are dying, unfortunately, and their collections are being sold off to traders, so on, which then filters down to individuals.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it is a trend. It might not be. I don't think the restoring will change much, but I think it will be the subject matter what will change. As we know, there's a lot of everybody does Hot Wheels. The big three: Matchbox, Dinky, Corgi. Then we got your Hot Wheels and stuff like this. But there's some of the lesser known brands, I think, are becoming restorable.
Yeah.
Real toys.
Real toys, yeah.
Yapmings,
Right.
those are becoming a little bit, we know that the Barongos are, but sometimes Baragos, but sometimes they're a bit on a bigger size because of nowadays a lot of people don't necessarily want to do the bigger size because of the space involved. As we all know, houses nowadays they're built and they're smaller than what they used to be years ago, so you're lacking in space. But I don't think it will change that much for a restorer, because there's such a wide, vast variety that a restorer can get his hands on if he can't or can't afford a Dinky, Corgi and things. Prices will probably go up more because it's becoming quite a popular hobby now. If you notice, there's the prices trending to go up now in eBay's, Facebook Marketplace, and things like that. So, but my take on it, I don't think the basic restoring will change. It will be the subject matter. The cars people can't afford the expensive cars to restore. They'll be filtering down to the ones that they can afford to restore, like we say, the real toys. And you'll find those sort of cars will suddenly or gradually increase in value. People will say, oh, yeah, real toys, I like that. I'll collect their real toys, because if you look at them, I've had some in job lots and the detail is very good on them, considering it's what it is. I think people have in the past turned them down. I thought, the charity shop job or a junk job, because they're not one of the big four brands, and people are clambering after these bigger brands. It's like anything else. It will filter down. And the younger generation will say, well, I can't afford that. I'd rather do this, and I'd rather do a Hot Wheels, because Hot Wheels are still readily available and they are quite cheap. They're not expensive, is the Hot Wheels. That's what I think. My take on it is. So, anybody else want to?
You also got to bear in mind with saying that the younger generation are not going to get access to Corgi and Dinky anymore because they're just not there. They're starting with the renewed version of Matchbox, which is nothing like the ones that we had when we were kids.
That's right.
The plastic bases and whatever. So they basically stuck with the new brand of Matchbox, Hot Wheels, and Majorettes. They're effectively the new big three.
This is getting back to what I've been saying for years. The toys that we played with as children, look at the quality in them. The only thing that was made of plastic was the windscreen and the seats. After that, metal. That's how they lasted so long. The quality was there. The pride was there. Like, you go and you buy yourself a brand new Matchbox nowadays, at least 60%. All right, 55% of it is plastic. In my eyes, in my opinion.
Luke, what do you think? Next 5 years?
Yeah, I don't know about probably roughly what Mike was saying, really, 5 years. I can certainly see the next 10, 15 years. Certainly. I started clearly stuff with the metal bases. That's the kind of stuff I grew up with in the 80s, so I'm quite drawn to the early Hot Wheels, or the mid to early. So, I reckon that the 80s babies is about the last of that era because I can still remember the older classic cars, so I still appreciate the older models. But I think you get a little bit younger now, the people, there's just definitely going to be.
Yeah, and I think another thing is that I think youngsters, I've noticed, are more into the customizing of these cars. You know,
Yeah, it's modern.
they'll get a Hot Wheels or they get a real toys, and they look at it and say, "Yeah, I can put white arches on that. I can supercar it up, change the paint." You know, I think that's where it's not necessarily restoring, but it's still part of the bigger hobby. You know, collecting, restoring, altering, code 3, whatever. You know, it's within that. And I think the youngsters think, yeah, I can do that. They'll see somebody like Jakarta or whatever the other guys do. They really do a fantastic job on some of these smaller vehicles. It's incredible. And yeah, I think 5 years. Yeah, I don't think it restoring side it will change much. Like I say, it will just be the subject matter.
Brian, you wanted to raise a point?
Yeah, after what everybody said, there's a few things that sort of spring to mind. The first thing, if you actually sit and think about this, you got to try and get your head around this. So the majority of us started collecting toy cars in either the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
And when that happened, they also brought out models of yesteryear.
Yeah.
At that time, they were cars from the 1910s, the 1920s, 1930s. So in relation to us, those were cars that were 40 or 50 years old. We're now at that position here today where a Ford Capri, a Ford Escort, a Ford Cortina are now models of yesteryear. The problem I envisage in the future, if you go and stand on any street corner, and that's not an offer, that's just an observation. If you stand on any street corner and watch the cars go by,
Don't do that in SWAD when you come up for them.
I guarantee that probably half to 3/4 of the cars that go past, you won't be able to tell what they are because they all look pretty much identical. And so when we were kids and we were collecting, and
we knew what every car was.
Yeah, you knew whatever. Yeah, you could pretty look. I know Martin was talking about doing the quiz of showing parts of a car. Well, if I showed you the back rear lamp of an MG now and a rear lamp of a Tesla and a rear, you wouldn't have a clue. You would not have a clue. You knew what a BMW looked like. You knew what a Mercedes looked like.
Yes.
Even they are diminishing.
They're starting to get sameish.
Yeah. So my view on what's going to happen in the future is it'll either carry on being the older cars that get done, or like Martin says, everything will be code 3. So they'll take the latest Matchbox, the latest Hot Wheels, and they can convert that. Because
for what it's worth to you, I was out today, and I just happened to spot it. I seen a Ford Anglia just parked on the side of the road. A Ford Anglia. And my eyes, at my age, popped out of my head to see it. Couldn't believe it. A Ford Anglia. It was a thing of beauty.
I'm being paid the biggest compliment in the chat.
What's
What
that?
Kev said, PJ, you resemble that bird on Red Dwarf, just seeing your head.
Excuse me a minute.
All right, yeah, okay. Evening, Kevin. How are you, mate?
Good evening, Kev. How
you doing, Kev?
Mate.
So yeah, I think, and all this AI crap, I think some of that will filter in to the way videos are made.
Yeah. I think
it will do actually. Yeah.
Just think what my take on it is that a lot of the tooling's changed. since when I first started, you started with a same as like Martin, pair of pincers, a drill, and pair of pliers, some files. But now look at the specialised equipment you can get, Dremels and stuff like that for doing specific jobs. How many times have you looked on Amazon restoring tools and things like this? So, and we've brought 3D printers. We're starting to do decals. We're starting to do our own movies. Like you've got a movie studio in your phone, like we were saying last night. So I think technology will have a lot to say about it. But airbrushes and stuff like that, the things you never thought of when we were kids, like you had a big old airy stick and that was it. Like, but you got airbrush, air sprays and all sorts now.
It's all part of development, PJ.
Yeah.
The reason I said about the AI thing, if you think about it, PJ, I mean, you can already say, imagine a film with, because there's all those trailers on YouTube now of reimagining like Forbidden Planet with Bruce Willis in and things like that. So if you're running short on time, you can imagine saying, AI, imagine a restoration of a Lady Penelope Fab 1.
Yeah.
And there's your video. I mean, I didn't have time this week to do one. I just didn't physically have time to do one.
Yeah.
So
you see, the thing is, then, Brian, it brings it to another subject that in the future, like with Paul with the 3D printing, and like you were saying with the AI, then in a way, it's taken away the skills.
Absolutely. I'm not agreeing.
I mean, I'm not. I say I'm not against 3D printing. Don't get me wrong. 3D printing is brilliant. It's a fantastic device, and it is great. Like for doing your spare parts, brilliant. But when it comes down to skills in modelling, if there's something you just press a button and it just pops out the other end, it's not a skill. The skill is in the technology, obviously, because you got to know how to use it. But it's like when Brian said, AI, imagine this, imagine that. Then you're not imagining it; somebody else is. Where is your? It's like scale modelling. When you're building a diorama, or you've got that imagination in your head, and you're putting that. You're building a wall. You're go in the garden and getting twigs and wood and leaves and make it look like realistic. I don't know about anybody else. When I do a diorama or something like, if I read a book, say I'm reading a war book, for instance, and I'm reading a particular scene, and I can imagine that scene in my head as I'm reading it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I could make a diorama out of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm not pressing the AI and saying, "Oh, can you do that for me?" That's the future. I think we will lose in the future. Youngsters will lose the power of imagination.
I think
I agree.
And I think then they'll just press a button and it'll be there, and that's not good enough.
Let's face it. I mean, when we were kids, we would sit in a room with half a dozen toy cars and play quite happily for the entire afternoon. Now they've got computers, tablets, and I'm bored. I'm bored. With all that's at their fingertips. Yeah. And I wasn't advocating the AI. What I was actually saying,
no, you weren't. No,
I think what PJ was saying was about where to see it going. Yeah. I'm sure there will be AI channels.
Oh, there will be. It's the way it's going, Brian. It's being pushed. We're being channeled with everything. The adverts on the TV, the adverts on YouTube. They're channeling us towards using AI. But my main problem with the youngsters, I said to my grandkids, we are going to become a nation of, dare I say, dummies. As a human being, as a human being, our brain, it is. You need that input. You need that imagination. You need that doing stuff, dexterity. You need that. All the business what we do. Because if you don't, your brain will just implode, I think, personally.
I agree with you.
Coming off topic there, sorry.
To be honest with you, I watch a lot of history.
You can't beat a dare rant. I love a dare rant. I do.
I watch a lot of history on YouTube. And if you listen to the actual speech. Some of the words they use are totally, the pronunciations, I should say, they're totally off the wall.
Excuse me.
Totally off the wall.
Mm.
So that means youngsters are going to be listening to this. They'll be talking like AI.
But the language is changing as well.
It's
Yeah,
always evolving
Is it
language.
changed for the better or for the worse?
But we're losing stuff as well. I can, again, old enough to remember this, when you had Fairy Liquid, which lasted twice as long as anything else. When was the last time you ever heard anyone say twice? It's now 2 times longer, 2 times stronger, 2 times. It's never twice.
I rest my case.
Anyway, there you go. That's a short debate on that one. Yeah, but yeah, I tell you, while PJ's away from it, we talk about restoring. Now I've got this yellow submarine here. Yeah, okay. Now it's missing the periscope and the front guys at the front and part of the propeller. Now, the difference between restoring and collecting. Yeah, you think about it. As a restorer, I'm looking at saying, right, I need to buy parts for that. Yeah. So I price up the parts for this from the regular sellers of reproduction parts, and it comes to nearly 35 pounds. Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay. Now that's on top of the price of the model that I've already got in my hands here.
Yep.
So the question is, a collector who wants one of these, you're on eBay, you can buy one of these in a box, brand new, 35 quid. Yeah. Okay. So begs the question, doesn't it? You know, if you're a collector or a restorer. Yeah, but the trouble is though, Mick, if you're a collector, that's fine. You go out and you buy a mint box one and stick it in your cupboard. But to me, the fun is restoring this
The fun is
back
in the
to
build.
a reasonable level. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not prepared to pay. I wouldn't pay all the prices that they charge. So what I went and done is you have a look around for a second version, okay, which has got the parts that you need, right? Okay. So I actually dropped on one of these day before yesterday, which had got the periscope, it had got the front guys, but it hadn't got the back guys or the back catch. So I thought, there you go. And it was a buy now price of £19, all right, with a £2.50 odd packaging postage. So to me, I can now complete one of these at
cheap,
25 quid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So to me, that's the fun. That's the fun for me in restoring.
Of course it is. Like I can tell you the same story, but like unfortunately, I've been saying it a long time. It can be a very expensive hobby if you let it. If you let it.
I did it with that fire engine, mine.
Yeah.
I got the first fire engine, then bought the second one that had the ladder
Well,
and the
that's it.
hose. Yeah.
And I also find that with these mechanical models like this and all the other mechanical models that Corgi or Dinky make, I think if you can get a second genuine model, the parts tend to work better and they don't have too much fettling to go on with them. So it's just a subject.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody in the chat want a bit of input on that, but you know, a collector will go out and he say, yeah, I want one of them, I'll buy it, 35 quid. But as a restorer, the fun in restoring is getting it and restoring it. And the work we involved in it is not just taking it apart, it's sourcing the parts. You see? And this is where the 3D printing does come in handy, because you can then, if you can't get a genuine one of these or part one, then you resort to having the 3D printed or resin cast parts.
I mean, the thing is that with just the 3D defender that I am, if you were to purchase something from, let's call it a supplier off eBay, it's not going to be an original part that you're buying. You know, if you were to buy a UFO missile, somebody has molded that It's not existing Dinky or Corgi stock.
No.
So what my point with the 3D printing, I guess, is that what we're learning to be able to do now is what's already readily available on eBay that we're not having to potentially be overcharged for and even dare I say make better quality products in some instances.
I think the big difference is producing something like, I don't know, there we go. 3D printing a wheel for one of those is one thing, but like with your Sid or the moon buggy thing, I think I get what Martin's saying about producing models. Parts, fine. Models. I mean, the skill in building an Airfix model, in building a Revel, it's quite a different skill set, and to be able to construct that thing and make it look good at the end of it. Whereas, again, just pressing the button and like, here's Sid. You know, it's. I know you still got to paint it. I get that, but there is a difference.
I mean, you've opened a can of worms here, Ian. To be honest, I must admit, but I did say it was a brilliant question, and it is a brilliant question. You didn't after 3D printing came out and started to take off to where it is now. There's a lot of models that people have designed that are just not Airfix or plastic kit builds. They're not available. I can't get that Sid or the Lunar Hopper anywhere. You know, but my thought was to complete my Jerry Anderson shortages, because more often than not, if I've got like I've done with yourself, Bri, you put me as 2 or 3 vehicles to one side that thoroughly intend to restore. But I'm filling the gaps, if you see what I mean.
On that subject,
sorry, Brian. That is where you get the collector side from, Paul, because you're collecting stuff that is not ready available in the shop. So you're downloading it and having it done like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's another branch, really, of the hobby.
Like a tree, isn't it?
It goes on forever. It's another branch of the hobby, and the skill then is not the max of printing it. The skill for you would be to paint it to make it look and bring it back to life. Yeah, that's the skill. That's a skill set. So it's all part of modelling, but it's in a different angle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it'd be interesting to see. In like Ian's saying about 5 years time. I just want to say hello to Laz in the chat. Evening, Laz. You're all right, mate. Good to see you.
Laz.
We've just been joined by JMO as well. Good to see you, honey.
Hi, JMO.
See you home. As Ian's saying, how do you see it in the next 5 years? Well, did we see 3D printing being a part of the modelling community 5 years ago? No, not really. It's only the last 2 years, really, that it's kind of took off. It's another, like Martin just said, it's another branch to the modelling, you know, the overall umbrella of modelling. Brian, go on, mate.
But with regard to Code 3, I absolutely love Code 3. When I didn't understand what it was for a long time, and then I kind of did. But for me, I really don't care, because I'm not producing models to sell that thing. That's not what it's about. It's to be like Mick said earlier. It's about a memory. But controversially, has anyone seen Paul the Restorer's latest video?
No.
Oh yeah.
Which one is it?
He has done Fab 1 as a 007 car in black and yellow.
Oh Lord.
When did you put that up? Today?
This morning. Yeah.
Ah, right. I haven't seen it yet. Then.
It's now, bear in mind, most Code 3s I like because you can see something in the idea behind it. I tell you what, for me, wrong.
You see,
He's done some nice bits in it, but colours wrong. It's just wrong.
I'm not sure we're all defining code 3 the same way. Because some people are defining code 3 as you take a model and make changes to it.
Oh, we're not going to do the code 3 again.
Well, no, but it is a valid point. As soon as you take that model apart, it's a code 3 because you've changed its construction. Because if Martin will put it back with some rivets, I'll put it back with screws, and somebody else will put it back with nuts and bolts.
Yeah, but I think the
That's a valid point.
the
If I
official.
take that and turn it into that, I don't consider that a code 3. If I take that and paint it that colour, then that's code 3. Surely if you're trying to recreate what was already there, it can't be a code 3. Surely.
So what you're
That's
saying
how I
is
understood
that
it.
code 3 is a grey area.
It's the definition, I believe, and someone will correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, that if it's not original, it's code 3.
Well, then,
So if you make no
nothing,
changes,
so everything we do then is code 3.
effectively, yeah. But there's various. Mark might not like the argument, but there are various levels of the codes. There is a list that you can read, and it's code 3, code 4, code 5, code whatever like. But as soon as you change something, it's not the original.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's there is code 1, code 2, code 3. I think they were just basic guidelines. There wasn't anything laid down specifically saying a code 3 is if you take it apart, it's a code 3. They were just basically for collectors. Yeah. You've got the standard one where it's come fresh out of the factory. You've got the code 2, which has been a different paint job. Maybe it's a commission from another company. Yeah, so that's classed as a code 2 because it wasn't the factory finish paintwork or decals on it. Then you got your code 3, which has been altered in the respect of added pieces or altered pieces. Yeah, and I think these codes were brought out a long time before restoring was ever became anything of a speciality. If they rewrote the codes now, then you would get a better, clearer picture of what the code. I think people generally use a code 3 of anything you've got, and you've changed it from the standard factory finish. You know, in a broad sense, you've got to look at it broadly. You can't nitpick at it because there's no set down rules about it. But anybody would, you say a code 3, you put a tow hook on. You took a tipper bed off, you put a tow hook on it. Yeah, it's a code 3. You took a car, you've changed the paint, you've changed the decals on it, it's code 3. Yeah. The question you're saying about rivets and taking the base off, that will be, it's no longer original. Yeah. Because you've took it apart, you've took the rivets out, there's no rivets in them, they're actually posts. You've actually drilled the posts out. So, and drilling the posts out, that car is no longer original.
Yeah.
And you could never, once you've done that, you've never, same as you take the paint off it, it's not original. It's not necessarily code 3, because you might put it back the same color it was in the factory, and you'll put rivets back in it.
I don't think
it's not original, but it's not necessarily code 3. So, it's a big, broad.
It is a grey area.
It's a grey area. That's all I see.
So, at the end of the day, moving on.
But there's a point that Ian just raised there. If the firm that produced the model changed it themselves, then it's classed as a code 2.
Yes, because if you've got a commission, say you got in contact with Corgi and said, I want you to produce 7 bond bugs, and I want them in pink. Yeah. And I want Rothmans written on the side. Or, they're commissioned to do that. So, therefore, that is in a code 2.
Marketing
tool.
Marketing purposes,
let's jump into the chat for a sec. Joe said, I got a yellow submarine last week and ordered parts, then found another on eBay cheap. It was in the same condition. When I get the parts I ordered, I will copy with the blue stuff and 2-part epoxy. So you've got some spares, mate. Old school, baby. Evening, Jim. How are you, mate? Says Ian. If as Mix just said, if the quoting Ian, if the firm that produced the model changes it themselves, that's classed as a code too. And I think that's an excellent definition by Martin
is, yeah.
about what that entails. I think I've said evening to Kev. Good evening, Kev. It's good to see you, mate.
Hi,
And
Kev.
lads. Good to see you, boys. Right, back onto the let's drill manly. Take that how you will.
Again.
Question 4. How do you approach? If this is too complex, just say it doesn't matter. We can.
Yeah,
skip
go
it.
ahead. Go on. We all have our.
How do you
methods.
approach the restoration process? First, initial assessment to the finishing touches, ensuring both accuracy and quality.
Well, first thing I have to do, I have to see the model, obviously. Figure out what it needs, what needs to be done. The most important question is, with my ability, can I do it?
Hmm.
And then what I do is I take a picture before of the before model. So I can use that as a reference point. And then I proceed to take it apart. Like a lot of people, believe it or not, now I'm not saying right or wrong. I've seen people use the drill to take out a rivet. I use my Dremel, believe it or not. Works just as well. Put a small drill bit in, off you go. Next thing I do is out with the caustic soda. 9 times out of 10, that does work for me. There's a point I want to talk about there in a minute. Then polish it off. Then have another look again for damage. You say a loose post missing. If a post is missing, how do I replace it? I've got 2 options in my mind. Or can you either use, well, depending on size, of course, the stem off a pop rivet. I could use that, or depending size and thickness again, I've often used hair clips.
Yeah.
Super glue them in, get all the excess glue off, then proceed to undercoat, paint, and well, the rest you know yourselves, assembly and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
Works for me.
Yeah, good answer. Yeah, good answer. Is Brian going to do his boxes shortly then, Pete?
I don't know if have we still got the video?
I'm looking at the time actually. 'Cause we've been going an hour so far, so I don't know how long
Yeah,
Brian's video is.
It goes on for 25 minutes, unfortunately.
Mm.
We may do it as a special feature next time, and just center the show around Brian's video, because he'll be back next. He'll be back next time. He's going to become one of the permanent features of the panel. Sorry, Mick.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Are there question 5? Are there specific tools or techniques that you find particularly effective, or I'm going to try this word because I've had a couple of scotches now.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
In the die-cast, I'll try and repeat that. Are there special tools or techniques you find particularly effective? I'm going to skip that word in the die-cast restoration field. So, is there one particular technique that you think that's just what I'm looking for to do this job?
I'll start off by saying I love my Dremel.
Yes.
I really love my Dremel.
I do.
The best thing invented. It's easier for me to use than a drill. When I'm taking the head off a post, I'm able to just do it right. Just get in there. Make the hole as big or as small as I want. It works out for me.
Mm.
And even if I drill the hole too big, I know if I get a big enough pop rivet, I know I can fill that hole up with a pop rivet. So, you know. In regard to tools, I don't have a lot, believe me.
Back in the early days of restoration, when we was doing them in black and white, Martin, did you have access to a Dremel when you first started?
Yes, I did. Well, I'm not allowed to call it a Dremel. I've been slated so many times. It's not a Dremel. It's a it's a Black & Decker Wizard. Yeah, to be the correct word for it. Yeah, and so that's what it is. So I've had it for a while, but I have used a drill. In fact, I do use a drill quite a lot. I use the Dremel more for finer work, you know, sanding and stuff like this, polishing, you know. But yeah,
We've been
evening, lads.
out of the blue. Out of the blue.
Hey, lads, what's happening?
There's a starman waiting in the sky.
Evening,
It's
chaps.
fine.
I just tried to.
Oh, go on, come.
Mr. Lazaro Collectibles himself, my good friend Laz. How are you, buddy?
Yeah,
Good
not
to
too
see
bad. I forgot about the chat, and I said I quickly log in. And can anyone see me?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
all see you.
Yeah, yeah, we can see
All
it.
seeing here.
Oh
So
yeah, it's a bit small. Yeah, okay. I think it's. I'm trying to. Yeah, okay. I can see now,
Well,
everybody.
yeah, what's your language? You're live on Channel 4.
Yes,
as
I
they
know.
say in Big Brother. There you go. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you.
Evening.
Where did we get to? So question. Right, here we go. Question 6. Question 6. We get the full house. It's just like the tavern. Question 6, Mick. How do you? And Brian's back as well.
lads.
How do you?
Evening, Brian.
Evening, lads.
How do you source?
Evening, Brian.
Evening, there.
All right, short boys.
Yes, it's the tavern.
Yes, it's the tavern. No talking over each other, please, gents. Question 6. How do you source replacement parts for vintage or rare die-cast models? And what challenges do you find in finding authentic components?
I'm glad you asked me that. Well, over in Ireland, the modelling community, die-cast community isn't as big as what you have in Great Britain, for starters. For me to buy parts from England, well, you heard what Martin said. Was it 30 quid to get the parts for the Yellow Submarine, was it?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
I'd be looking at least double that, easily. Can you take into account the exchange rate with the euro, postage? How long am I going to be waiting? So, what do? 9 times out of 10, I'll have a go at making parts myself.
Valid answer.
Mm.
I'll have a go. Let's get back to what you're talking about, Martin. Imagination.
Skills and imagination, mate, and getting your hands on anything you can find in the cupboard or in the local shop.
Get your hands dirty.
No. And that's a good. I mean, if you get things like styrene, and the plastic boarding, your Dremel comes into its own with that when you're doing the grind. Like if you're doing
my Dremel. And on top of that as well, as I said, I started out doing Airfix models, plastic. I still have a few of them. And there was an individual who kept nearly everything. I've got sprues, spare glass, decals. I've kept them all. So, like, I can be lucky enough that I'd have something close to what I want. That's basically that's all I can say on that matter.
It goes back to the old. Blue Peter, doesn't it? This is one I made earlier.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, you're right. I know you're joking, but really, it's not a joke because it is a Blue Peter thing. Let's be honest about it.
I should not be left alone with half the tools that I'm left alone with without a pair.
The thing is, as restorers, how many, and we can be honest about it, is how many times you go shopping with your missus or your partner and you look around the shops and you're not interested in what's going on. You're looking
at the packaging.
You're looking at what you can use to take home and use in your shed as a tool of some sort. Yeah, whether it be whether you're down at looking at nail varnish for different colours to spray for your airbrush, whether you look at look at them. Those emery pads, they'll be good. And stuff like actually looking at that packaging, I'll have that just for the packaging because I can use that.
I don't know how much plastic packaging I have, clear plastic packaging I have in the shed that I use for making windscreens. That's what dear old dad used to say. If you haven't got tough, improvise. And he was right. Like, my dad came from an era when times were really tough. And that's what he did. He improvised on everything. And he passed that down to me. Look, you can't have everything. So you have to use your imagination somewhere along the way. Improvise.
Just to bring my good friend Laz in line with everybody else, and we haven't asked him, what have you been working on?
I'm cleaning the tires for the sugarcane truck. The little Matchbox tires.
Oh,
They were really dirty. Yeah, they're really dirty, and they got blue paint on it. So I think I will try to use a small blade to take them off. If not, I need to repaint them, and I need to find one wheel because I'm doing two cars the same, but one wheel is broken. So I need to find another one. I think I'll find a black one, same size. I haven't got this gray one, same size. I've got black ones. So if I need to repaint these, I will paint one of the black ones as well, so I can complete two cars. And
Laz, if it's any use, I think I can help you.
Yeah, I've got some decals for the Tate and Lye bulk granulated sugar. So that's the decal for the car. And I've got some decals from Andy as well. That's going to go on the other one. So that one is going to look like original. The other one is a little bit Code 3.
If it's any use, I have a busted Tate and Lyle truck with 6 wheels on it. Your name is on it if you want.
I'm sorry, say again.
I have a Tate and Lyle that's busted, right? Truck, like what you're working on. Now there's only four, not 6, 4 or 5 wheels on it. Your name is on it. If it's any good to you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, if you just send your address to me and I'll take it from there.
Okay, Rick. Oh, okay, Mick. I will text you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. That's it. Yeah. Carry on.
Good stuff, mate. It's good to see you getting back into the hobby. I know you've been away for a couple of weeks, a bit like Luke. So, question 2 from Mr. Ian Ulley to the panel. How about recreating vehicles from classic TV shows that haven't been covered? For example, now Luke's going to go, "What? Who? Why? Why would you do that?" Because he's got no idea. Because he's only 12. How about recreating the vehicles from classic TV shows that haven't yet been covered? For example, George and Mildred's motorbike and sidecar, and include the figures. 2 figures. That would be super cool. So, have you got a wish? Has anybody got a wish to see a particular vehicle recreated in diecast that they haven't seen or is not available at this moment in time? Laz,
the Peugeot 408 from Colombo, Peter Falk's car from Colombo.
That is out there. I've seen it once.
That would be nice. That Peugeot.
All right. Luke, do you know who George and Mildred are?
No, pass.
No. I knew it was falling on stony ground. Have you got a vehicle you'd like to see recreated in diecast, Luke? No. Stumped on both questions.
I can't think of any.
Welcome back.
All the stuff I watched, it's all there. That's the one I wanted, and I've got it anyway. That's
my
dream motor.
Oh, I thought you were thinking about My Little Pony or something.
That is my dream car. Whether it fit in it or not, I don't know.
You can turn that into a camper if you still wanna.
Yeah.
I have to kick Grandad and
more gentlemen.
If
I could just show you something, if you don't mind. See that there? See that there? Where my thumb is. I hadn't got the cement mixer for it.
Yeah.
So that's an old yogurt bottle.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that looks like a yogurt butter.
Thank you for reminding me of that, lad. Thank you so much. Yeah, but it's like I said, if you haven't got tough, I'll tell you, I was expecting someone else to get tough on me. I wasn't expecting you, lads.
No, you get no sympathy from him.
I know that.
He could be a cruel individual when he wants to.
Oh, he can be, yes, when he wants to.
Hey,
Martin.
me.
Yeah, you.
Very, very similar to what Luke was saying. I think a lot of the stuff has been covered. There'd be some of the obscure TV programs, like maybe that you back in a dark, distant past, you might think yourself, well, carved from that. But I think most of the mainstream has been covered, even Wallace and Gromit. And all your Star Treks and all this sort of stuff, and like Starsky and Hutch and Gone in 60 Seconds,
It's all there.
stuff
It's all
like this, Smoking a Bandit, even Z Cars,
Yes.
Heartbeat, all those sort of things have all been basically covered. But even the Doctor Who's TARDIS, but I don't know.
Even the Mad Max vehicles are covered.
Yeah,
And so is Columbo. I know that because I've seen it.
I don't really, to answer the question, not really. No.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that Georgia Mildred will be interesting. I don't know.
That I never saw.
The figures will be interesting to produce. But the motorbike, a motorbike sidecar. I don't know what motorbike and sidecar they actually use in Georgia Mildred. I don't know. Or actually, there's I don't know.
There's something like a BSA or a Triumph, wouldn't it be?
I have got a funny story. I have got a I have got a funny story, if you don't mind sharing it. Actually, of my grandmother and my grandfather.
Here we go.
When they were courting, and we're talking a long time ago, right? This is before Second World War. My grandfather and his brother owned a motorbike and sidecar, and they very often, sometimes, go out on it. And if they're going out individually, they would take the sidecar off and just drive around as a motorbike. On this particular occasion, my grandfather's brother had the bike out and gone ripping around wherever he was going, ripping around. And we're talking, this is East London, like Millwall. And my grandfather decided to take my grandmother out on a Sunday. Yeah. And in them days, they dressed up. This is from my grandma telling me this. And they were dressed up with a big hat and everything else. And there she was in this sidecar flying around these streets of Millwall. And they came to a corner near a pub. And there was a stall there selling cockles, wilks, and all that sort of thing. And as you turn the corner, the sidecar separated from the motorbike.
Waiting on that.
Yeah. And my grandmother ended up in the middle of this whelk stall, cockles and whelks, right, with her hat on. Yeah. And my grandfather had just roared off round, oblivious, right? And then a little while later, he turned up back again. And I just thought that story, I could just picture, as we were saying earlier on about dioramas, I could just picture my poor old grandma going round that corner and just flying off into this stall. It must have been, back in them days, we're talking sort of probably early 30s, it's just a great story.
I can just imagine your grandfather talking to himself for 10 minutes before I realised there was nothing on the side of the bike.
Oh dear, it's funny. Well, I just thought I'd share that because it's something that my grandmother was a card. She was, and she would come out with all this stuff. It was brilliant. So sorry about that. I just diverged a bit.
No, by all means, mate.
No, it was a good story.
Brian.
Yeah, couple.
Go on, mate.
Thunderbirds related. Now I know there was one, but it wasn't a very good one. I'd love to have a die-cast mole. There was a very small one done.
Yeah, there was.
A proper sort of You know, Thunderbird size one would be good.
Um,
And
I have some news on that.
given that they've Corgi and Dinky both doing planes now, Fire Flash would be nice as well.
I can give you an update on the mole.
Right.
If anybody's an Anderson nut, go and join the Anderson Facebook page. They are doing a new model of the mole, and it's highly detailed apparently. Now I've looked at some of the prices. Even the original UFO, is going for £124.
Ooh,
Whoa!
So the prices are not cheap. I mean, I was looking at the technical. Sorry, I'm going off on a slight tilt. I was looking at the technical manual for the UFO Interceptor. It's £60 just for a book. So yeah, I mean, yes, you're getting it straight from the horse's mouth, but that's big money that's a lot of money. But yeah, good couple of choices. Me myself, I'd like to see something like Sequest DSV, the submarine from. I love the submarines and
Seaview as well. Seaview.
Yeah, I've got a Seaview.
I've got a Seaview as well. Yeah. Mine was a kit.
Yeah, I must admit, mine is a 3D print. As Mr. Dare would say, yeah, I've printed it off myself. But that was one of the first test models that I did.
That's your Tiddler. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Tiddler. You can.
Mine's about yay size.
Yeah.
You can scale it down and you can scale it up and do it in chunks and make it 3 foot long if you wanted to.
Regarding the mole, and I think there was the Japanese kit manufacturer did a mole. I think it's in the same company. What Paul's got, you got those. You and Malta got those kits. The Joe 90 kits. I think it's the same company made the mole as well. You know,
Japanese company.
Ayashima.
Yeah, I think it's them.
If anybody if you don't follow Moz 6510 models, he has just done a kit build of the Joe 90 car, and it's stunning. It's a belting model. Hopefully, when we see him again, he joins us online again. We'll ask him to show it. He's taken it to a couple of shows, but he's made it. We're getting some interference from somebody.
No, that's me changing the room.
Well, we'll mute you for a minute, mate. There we go. So we'll wait for him to settle down, and we'll finish off these questions. Bri, you're happy to join us next time we do one of these? Yeah.
Yeah. Just as an observation, I've never answered these questions either.
Well, now you get a Brian show, because what we will do, because Martin did ask about the video, we'll do the video and 10 questions to go with it, all in one show. And fine. We've just made next time we do one of these shows, that's just filled the show for us. So
no worries.
Result. I enjoyed going fishing as well, mate. So bonus. We're planning on doing that together at some point.
Good news on the van front.
Oh, go on.
Last three journeys out, no issues whatsoever. So excellent. Maybe it's finally cleared itself.
Excellent news.
So them poor old kids you take fishing, they've been pushing that van around for 3 days.
I know.
You have my sympathy, Brian. You have my sympathy. I know what it's like. It's not funny.
He's had no petrol in for it for 4 weeks.
You know the reins.
Around.
Getting the reins round their shoulders is a bit tough.
Yeah.
And you have a whip, do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good man. Good man.
It's when they start calling them Rudolph and
on Donna and Blitzen.
Let's let him into the chat, because we haven't visited the chat, and I do apologise.
I'm just going to Lou. I shall mute and get rid of the video for a minute.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. Don't worry. So Kev was saying, I'm just wondering if my banger models come under code 3. No, I'll reply with saying, no, Kev, yours come under the hammer. So Kev,
Yeah, like that.
We say that
Yeah.
with Jeff.
Yes,
Kev
Kev, they would, mate.
Kev does fantastic work.
Yeah, he's really good.
Mr. Holly says, you're a wizard, Martin. Welcome, lads. Laz just parachuted in, says Jerry. Lots of people saying hello to Laz. See, you do get missed when you're not here. Same with Luke. These boys get missed. So we appreciate them logging on, filling the time with me and Martin. The same with Brian. Thanks for that. It's much appreciated, chaps. What about the Green Goblin truck from the Stephen King Maximum Overdrive, says Kev.
Love that.
Ooh.
Oh,
Love that.
that's a
I
thought.
don't know whether Hot Wheels have covered that. I don't know. You might have to look into that.
Yeah, but a 143 scale.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
It's been years since I watched that.
Ooh. Jewel's another one, isn't it? DUEL Jewel. That's a big truck in
Jewel, yeah,
that.
that'd be interesting.
Now-
I think maybe the trucks from Convoy with Chris Christopherson. That would be nice.
Yeah. Chris Christopherson, yeah.
Yes.
The Mac, it was a Mac, wasn't it? That it
Oh,
was.
It was a Mac, yeah.
Yeah.
But
And I'll
all
tell you
things-
another one, Luke. I'll tell you
Yeah,
another
but
one
then-
later. Go on, Luke.
You
I
never
think
everything released that.
Oh, I've never seen Street Talk either. Oh, now we're digging deep. I like
you
this.
not?
I like the way this is going.
Oh,
also,
No, I've never seen. I know who Street Talk is. I've never seen a die-cast version of it. And I'll tell you another one. I'll tell you. I'll tell you two. The guy that played Sam Jones that played Flash Gordon in the Queen soundtrack movie. He was it was in a short-lived. No, not Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon. Before you start. I know where you're going. I know where your mind's at. He did a very short-lived series where he was like he was a lorry driver, but it was like a team of mercenaries, and they'd all got their own customized lorries or the American lorries, obviously, like, but it looked more like spaceships than lorries. I can't remember what the show was called. Somebody might Google it in the chat. Sam Jones TV series, lorry or wagon, but it was brilliant and only lasted. Might have been 10 episodes, something like that.
But
the vehicle was brilliant. Russ is saying you can get a 143 scale dual truck made by Ixo Altair.
Altair. Altair is, I think it's a Turkish one.
JMO's saying Laurel and Hardy's Model T. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Imagine having the figures to go inside. It'd be brilliant.
Or maybe some silent movies, old.
Buster Keaton, yeah.
Yeah, Buster
I think
Keaton.
you'll find it. Sorry, lads. I think that there is a black Model T Ford. Corgi did one in their Corgi Classics. And I think Model of Yesteryear have done a black Model T Ford, obviously without the figures.
So Ian's saying, turning the old London Buzz into On the Buzz's Luxton Company model with Blakey as the conductor. So you could have Blakey and I'll get you. What's his name?
It was so funny.
Butler,
that's it, Butler. The
that'd be a
Highwayman
good build for somebody.
That'd be brilliant. It's the characters. It's putting the characters in place that makes these vehicles come to life. Like, Sorry. Where are we going? You can, Ian, the white Mark III Ford Escort Cabriolet from Dempsey and Makepeace.
Oh yeah, Dempsey.
Oh, we're on a roll now, here, boys. We could start his own bloody collection.
It's funny when you start talking about it and getting suggestions coming forward, then your mind clicks in. It goes back a few years, doesn't it? Your mind regresses and you think, oh yeah.
Russ has just said, PJ, Google the Highwayman. I'm sure that's what it was called. Yeah, it was on and off, Russ, for a few weeks, but it caught my imagination and it didn't last 5 minutes. The Keystone Cops paddy wagon, says JMO. Tell
Yeah.
you, some brilliant ideas here.
Monogram model kit. They did that paddy wagon. Glue.
Or alternatively, a DMC challenge. Create create a diecast vehicle that you've always wanted to see but's not available, based on something.
I would like to see some. I would like to see
challenge.
some.
Go on, lads.
You know, you are not familiar with Bud Spencer and Terence Hill in.
Yes,
I am.
You are. So,
Yeah.
Bud Spencer had a movie called Sheriff and the Alien Kid, and the other one was another one. So, it was the same kid in the movie, and he had some nice American 70s police cars. They were really nice, big, big ones. Ford, I think it was one of them was Ford. The other one was. I think it was a Dodge or something, but they were really nice. And those 70s movies, they got such a nice selection of cars. Or, the Gendarme of Saint-Tropez with Louis de Funès. They had loads of French cars, even Skoda in one of the movies from the 60s, 70s. So they would be, I think that would be a nice series like James Bond, But obviously, they are not as popular as James Bond, so maybe the market is
Russ
not
is
really.
saying the Range Rover from Torchwood. What I'll add to that Range Rover is also the Land Rover from The Professionals. There's a couple of episodes where Land Rovers are involved, where they break into an army camp.
Two things. There was a
great idea. I'll take 10% commission, PJ, says Ian. Always someone trying to make a buck off the back of this.
Believe it or not, the Volvo that was in The Good Life, Jerry and Thingy Bob's Volvo, was the same Volvo that was in the start of Survivors.
Oh yeah, Woman Driver, the Survivors, yeah.
You see, I've just thought of another one because I'm a bit of a sci-fi geek. I love Godzilla, but I also like the Godzilla movies where it was a bloke in a suit, like Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla and all these kind of things. But it was like it was like two movies in one. You got the Godzilla thing going on with whatever this week's monster was, but then you got these little Japanese guys flying around in spaceships and all this kind of stuff. And some of the spaceships were brilliant. And I'm thinking to myself, I'd like to do one of them.
Sounds like, what's that monkey you're talking about? Remember that series?
No, Godzilla.
No, Monkey was in
Godzilla.
There was no vehicles in Monkey.
I know who Godzilla is, but
no, Godzilla. Godzilla monster, Godzilla versus King Kong, that kind of thing.
Ah, yes.
The only Godzilla was crap was the one with Jean Reno and Matthew Broderick.
Oh, do you think it was crap?
Yeah, I think it looked like a T-Rex. It looked like a T-Rex Godzilla.
Yeah.
It was a bit American. It was a bit American, to be honest.
Even the later movies have gone that way now. The Japanese ones have gone that way. I think it's called Godzilla -1 that won the Oscar. Has gone down that design route as well.
Was it the Megadon? Godzilla versus the Megadon, I think. But
there was one like that, yeah.
Without reigniting the Code 3 debate again.
Oh, good Lord.
Were you saying about creating a thing that didn't exist? Did anyone see Marty's Matchbox thing when he did the half ambulance, half refreshment?
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
That was brilliant. I think what he did there was absolutely brilliant.
I'll look you on that with Andy Bourne, who did... there's an ambulance that looks quite futuristic.
Yeah.
And he made it a UFO TV.
That's right. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
There's 5 of them vehicles. There's a tow truck. There's an ambulance. There's a coach.
That's
there's
right.
A security wagon. What's the 5th one?
And they've all got that kind of duck build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the front of Tojo.
Yeah. Just reading off some of these. Crikey, we've got quite the list going on here. We should have wrote these down. Goliath from Knight Rider, says Russ. Yes, remember Goliath. there was a Land Rover involved in the professionals when they were held hostage at a farmhouse. That's the one that was on about, JMO, you agree with me. In a Sunshine Desserts van from the fallen rise of Reginald Perrin. Lord. Right, okay. Let's swiftly get on with the rest of these questions. We've got 4 to go. Mick, can you share a memorable story of, as a diecast restorer, perhaps involving a particularly unique or sentimental project that meant a lot to you?
Well, a sentimental one. I done a Ford Cortina. My dad had a Cortina L 2-door. So what I done was I got my hands on a GXL, and what I had to do was I had to fix it in such a way that there was only 2 headlights on it instead of having the 4. So that was a bit tricky. So I had to file 2 of the headlights down so it would make it look like 1. And then what I done was my dad's Cortina was blue. I sprayed it blue, but the interior was green. So I done all that. And then next thing what I done was I got a picture of my old house where I lived with my parents, and as a backdrop, I used the house as a backdrop, put the car in front of it, as if to say my dad's car is parked outside the door.
Yeah,
So
nice.
just looking back on it, it you know, it got emotional to me, like, you know.
I've altered some of these that because I altered them last time and I didn't type them in. Your favourite build?
Oh, that's a tricky one as well, isn't it? That's tricky. I got a few of them here, like, you know. I got a few of them. Like nearly every build that I have here, I got a kick out of every one of them, believe it or not.
Fair enough.
It's hard. It's very hard for me to choose. Very hard.
We'll rattle these last 2 off. In your opinion, what sets apart a well-executed die-cast from a poor one?
Well, quality of the metal for starters.
Quality of
Like if you pick it up, it's going to buckle in your hands. You know?
Yep.
That's why I always go for the old Corgis, the old Matchbox, and the old Dinky, because I know the quality is there. I know the strength is there. You know?
And finally,
and I know. And if I get a model and it's 50 years old, I know it's going to last hopefully another 50 when I'm long gone.
Okay.
Not if you give it to Kev, you don't.
That's why it's not going there.
Kev's version of under the hammer means something completely different than
Yeah.
now.
Are we talking about a hammer or a sledgehammer?
He's we like what Kev does.
Generally speaking, what lets cars down are the wheels. They go to all the
that's true.
all the lines right, and then they put the cheapest bloody wheels on things.
Like Borrego, they make good models, but the wheels are just, you know.
All right. Well, we'll round this off. How do you stay updated on the latest trends, techniques, and materials in diecast restoration?
Well, it's like everybody else. Like the amount of videos I watch. Like I've watched Martin's videos loads of times. I watch Luke's. I watch Marty's Matchbox makeover when he's on. Sometimes I watch Paul Restorer. I watch Laz. Like I just watch everybody's work. And hopefully I can get some ideas from there, and off I go.
Yeah, there'll be copyright in a post, mate. Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Any duplicates?
And by the way, I'm looking for doubling my money this time. I want a pay rise. All right.
It didn't mention my name, so I'll take that as a.
Well, what was the last time? No, I wouldn't do that. No, honestly, you do. Honestly, in fairness, PJ, you do good work yourself.
Well, thank you very much. It's a bit too late now, but the thought was there.
All right, then. I'll go and talk to my. I'll go and talk to my mate Martin.
Get back in your house. No. All right. So, Mick, thank you for taking the leap of faith and doing this with us.
No, thank you for having me on board. I really enjoyed that. It was fun.
Anybody
It
in
was
the
fun.
chat, by all means. I've seen that Phil's just joined us. Good evening, Phil. It's good to see you.
All
One
right, Phil.
of our new and recent taverners that's been joining us for the last few weeks. He's now an official taverner on the DMC and been a supporter. So good to see you, Phil. Let's just reel off some of this other stuff. So what have we got here? There was a Land Rover involved. Yes, got that one. Reginald Perrin. Frank Spencer's moped.
Oh, moped. Blimey, that's a
Spencer's moped.
blimey. I know he had a car and I had roller skates, but I don't remember.
I know he had the
what-
roller skates.
Yeah,
you know.
He had a moped on it. I think was it a DT 250 or something bomb round on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a trial bike.
All
I'll tell you that.
I'm
I
sorry,
used to-
gentlemen. I just spotted something here. Playoff says, "Got to meet you, Mick." Well,
Yeah,
I'd like that. Got to meet. Good to meet you, Mick. Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Let me
Sorry
finish
about that.
Let me finish reading. Yeah. Kev saying loads of laugh. I think that's because we did Kev's Under the Hammer. Phil saying, evening, chaps. Russ saying, good to meet you, Mick. So there you go. You're appreciated for doing what you've been doing. Now, if you're in the chat and you'd like to sit in Mick's hot seat and field 10 questions that we put towards you, just message me. Or even say in the chat, I'd like to have a crack at it. And you can share your thoughts on diecast and where you see the future going and what models you'd like to see that if it hasn't been recreated already. Of course, we've got quite a list going on now. Riding its side saddle, reading a map on an orange Honda Express, says JMO. That must be an episode of
Yeah, I remember that one.
Frank Spencer. Right.
I used to cringe watching that guy. I used to watch the part. I used to love watching it, but I used to cringe. I said, "Oh my god, how can anybody get in them situations?" But the other boy did all his own stunts, you know. That was he always
Initially, that was written for Norman Wisdom.
Yeah, wrong guy. It's got to be him. He was the only fella who could play that part. You got certain people are right for the part, like David Jason in Only Fools and Horses. Right
Yeah,
for
he
the
was
part.
great. Yeah,
I mean, he wasn't original. He was not the original choice. Like some others who haven't. Perfect. Betty, perfect. You know, for the part. Yeah, brilliant.
It's like watching things like Hello and all them.
Oh my God, they should drive me nuts. They should drive me nuts. That program.
Yeah, but it was the Don Estelle as
Lofty,
Yeah.
sing Lofty.
as Lofty.
Yeah.
But boy, could he sing! You know.
yes, he could sing.
Sadly,
He didn't get the recognition.
His life ended with him going around airports singing that one bloody song, like, you know, trying to make a few bob, which was really.
And all the old actors, British actors, ended up in Last of the Summer Wine.
Yeah.
That's when you look at Last Summer Wine, you got all the old soap actors turn up in Last of the Summer Wine.
What do they call it between heaven and hell? Purgatory. I think Last of the Summer Wine was purgatory because you didn't. After that, it was either up or down.
Last of Summer Wine was God's waiting room.
Yeah, it used to make me smile and say, "Oh bloody hell, I haven't seen him for years." You know what I mean?
What I couldn't understand was Lexigena Alexander. She was in the Last of Summer Wine. Now she retired her accommodation. Why did she go back? She didn't have to.
I don't know. I don't follow the soaps as such, Mick.
I don't follow her either, but she's been there since the year dot. Let's be honest about it. I never understood why she went back.
Just to round this up, then, Ian, the banana splits buggy with all the gang in. Good Lord! Yeah, well, no, there was only 4, weren't there? Yeah. I could do that. I'll be happy with that.
I'll tell you one.
Was the first choice for Del Boy. Chief Inspector Slater was the first choice for Del Boy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, you're right. He was. He was the first choice, but I think at the time he was busy doing because he's a Shakespearean actor, same as Trigger was a Shakespearean actor, believe it or not.
Yeah.
He was busy at the time. Yeah.
Jerry saying I watch other related videos like the Craftsman, Queen City Miniatures, etc. I get lots of ideas that work for diecast. Brilliant. Chaps in the chat, thank you. The suggestions, maybe it's more. There's some fantastic suggestions there. We could do an whole show just on some of them.
The Anthill mob. The Anthill mob, that comes to my mind.
The Anthill mob, yeah.
Penelope pit stop.
And you could do that out of the model of yesteryears. You could.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. Because I was thinking something like the Monsters coach you could do out of model of yesteryear as well.
You could do, actually. Yeah, there's a couple there you could do. Yeah.
Right. So what we've agreed to is to do Brian justice. We're going to do the Brian show in 2 weeks' time, which he will get a drilling from one of us. We might get somebody else to do it. Give him a grilling on the 10 questions, and
they ain't going to be all fishing ones.
No, they're not fishing or 3D. What we will do is also show a video that Brian has put together about boxing, creating boxes, which is fantastic information that he did for us. JMO did one for us, and so has Brian. And anybody else wants to put a video together that we can put into our library of how-tos, by all means. It needs to be under 5 minutes. Contact me, let me know if you want to take part, and we'll make it happen. And for the last 10 minutes, for a bit of fun, because we haven't done a quiz. I found a bit of a quiz, and it's based on vehicles in films or TV. So not necessarily Matchbox, Dinky, or Corgi. Dare's already depressed. He's already panicking. We'll do as many texts up to 10 o'clock, and we'll call it. But once again, thanks to all the boys that have joined us tonight, Laz, Mick, for jumping on as well. Much appreciated. Question 1, and there's going to be a few seconds pause while the guys in the chat have got an opportunity to answer the questions. So if you're ready, and we'll go around and ask everybody. So don't say anything out loud. Question 1. What make and model is the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard? And there's a year involved in this, boys, if you don't mind. So, what make and model is the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard? The year and the vehicle.
68.
We'll see if we'll wait till it starts coming through on the chat first. Computer says.
Computer says hello. Computer says no.
Computer says no.
Hello, Martin. It's Linda.
Russ is there first with my man. Russ is there first with. Oh, and Kev. 69 Dodge Charger. Dodge Charger 69 says Kev. Martin.
Oh yeah, mate. I was into the Charger. I didn't know what year it was.
Well, you give yourself a point out too. Luke, I've already answered the question, haven't I? Luke, he doesn't know who Dukes of Hazzard is. That's wasted time.
Shows is 68.
68.
Shows is 68.
No.
We got contention. All right, who's going to Google that? And who's the adjudicator?
No, the chat outweighs unfortunately.
Yeah.
Mind you, Ian is saying a 68 Charger.
It is a 69 Charger.
Yeah,
69 Charger.
It is.
Yeah, AI knows.
Our adjudicators just checked on it.
VAR and all that kind of stuff. And unfortunately,
how many cars did they use for this?
About one every program.
Yeah.
12.
More.
Jerry says 69 Charger.
That's why there's no more Chargers because of that program.
Jerry's saying 69 Charger, but they used a couple of years either side to do the stunts. That's a fair comment. Yeah.
Yeah,
69.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting it from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Bullshit. And they're always correct.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I'm calling BS on that.
Everybody's
so,
coughing at the moment.
We'll
Bullshit.
call it a 2 points. If you got a 69 and a Dodge Charger, 2. If you got Dodge Charger and 68, I'm afraid it's 1.
So I've got 5 points, yeah?
Yeah, I've already asked 1 question. Question 2. Go on, take it to 10 o'clock. Just wants to 1. What kind of van did the A-Team drive?
No,
Now,
look, you've done another one.
We've got this could be 2 points for this one because there is a year and the make and model of the van.
Yes.
So hold your thoughts, boys, for that while we get some answers from the chat. I'm going to give them 10 seconds because then it's just Googling really in the chat.
Yes, they
So
are.
we're going to go with a 10, 9, 8. So I ought to have a timer on the screen. 7, 6. We'll see if we can pick this out for next time. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, we'll go around the boys first. Mark, any idea?
I've got one in the. I've got one at my bloody
got one
shed
at the
that
shed.
Luke painted for me. And a solid car. I think it's a Chevy. I'm not sure. It's a Chevy, but I ain't got a clue what the year is, mate. But it's black. It's black and
Right.
grey.
What make and model was it? It's black.
It was a no. Actually, it's an Ertl.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's black. Luke, you got any? Have you got any better description than it's black?
Was it a 78 GMC?
Ooh, okay.
Adjudicator.
We're
you saying?
gonna go with the chat in a minute. Bri,
GMC Vandura,
you got a year on that?
Yeah.
82 or 83.
Come
83.
on.
Ooh, I Googled it myself.
I'll go with
Mick,
the same.
you
I'll
gonna
go
with
with the same.
That's a bit of a Laz.
Well, that's a.
I thought that was a bit of a cop out.
Well, I am saying the same.
I'll go
But
same.
you already had your answer and it was wrong.
Laz, what do you reckon, mate?
I was thinking it's a GMC van, and I was thinking 1972, but I might be wrong.
72. Ooh,
No, it's way too far back.
We are. So what we've got in this chat? We've got Kev saying GMC. We've got Russ saying 1983 GMC Vendura. I'm going to give the spelling on that. 73 Chevy day van, says JMO. Ian saying a GMC. Jerry saying an 83 GMC van. And don't look at mine. I haven't got a clue, says JMO. It is, according to AI, not according to me, so the AI is the VAR in this instance, a 1983 GMC Vandura. VANDUR. DURA.
So it was it's not a Chevy. So it's not a Chevy
No.
then.
No, it's black, Martin. It's black.
It doesn't even
It's
say
definitely
it's black.
black.
It doesn't have, and unfortunately, Martin, for a bonus, it doesn't even say it's got a red stripe on it.
But
Well, that's not right, is it?
Just
How many?
I love this.
go, Martin.
I was going to say, how many seats you got on it?
But it's got full tires, definitely.
And
And a
the
spoiler.
steering wheel.
Yeah. And an engine. Don't forget that part.
Right, now this is a spelling one for you. This is a spelling one for you.
Oh, that's me
What was
screwed
the
in.
name
Yeah.
of David? If anybody doesn't get the car name right, you want shooting. But how do you spell it?
Ooh.
What was the name of David Hasselhoff's talking car in Knight Rider? Hold your
David
thought.
Hasselhoff, you mean?
David Hasselhoff. What did I say? I'm sorry.
Hasselhoff, I don't know, what did you say?
Yeah. So, what was the name of the car that David Hasselhoff drove in Knight Rider? Bry's got it, well, I think everybody's got it. It's not so much the name of it, but how you spell it.
KITT.
Well, Brian couldn't wait.
Yep.
He's just splooged it out again.
No, because it's already in the chat.
JMO's gone with KITT.
I would say kit.
Jerry's still answering the last one. GMC ANS Chevy vans are identical, just a different badging. All the deep details.
Okay.
Kev's gone with kit. Pontiac
Kit.
Firebird.
Yes. No,
Firebird?
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's a Trans Am. No,
It is.
I thought it was a Trans Am as
a
well.
Pontiac. I think it's a Pontiac Trans Am.
The point is,
It's
the
the
car
late
is
one,
called
isn't
kit, but it's
Kit. Yeah.
KITT.
TT.
KIT or KAT or CAT or CIT.
No,
It's
it's KK.
KITT, and it stood for, as Russ has pointed out, Night Industries 2000.
Yes.
And it was a Firebird, but it was a Firebird Trans Am.
Was it?
Yeah.
Funny enough, I'm going to skip the next question because we're fast approaching 10 o'clock, but I'll read what the next question and the answer was. What type of car was kit based on? And apparently it was a 1982 Pontiac Trans Am.
Trans Am. Dankeschön. So
Right.
yeah.
Now, this is you've got to be able to. I'm going to go with what colour is Mr. Bean's famous car? Now, is it? I'm going to have to be quite specific on shade of colour.
Ooh,
Oh,
bloody
what?
hell.
Not down to the nth degree.
You don't want the RAL number.
No.
Two of them, wasn't there?
Is it light, medium, dark?
Okay.
That kind of thing. Not.
Can I say?
Yeah.
I think it's a duck poo green.
Duck poo green.
Yes.
I don't want to go anywhere near your ducks if they're poo's that colour.
It's bad. That is bad.
After eating
Oh, going with lads, I think it's more
Spinach.
of a madras.
In actual
after
fact,
eating
Lime
spinach.
green.
if you know you Mr. Bean, it's two colours.
Yeah, lime green and black.
Yeah, black stripe. Yes.
No, black
We're
bonnet.
going to go with JMO saying lime flower, or is he just
Lime
trying to trip me up?
flower.
I'm not sure.
That's just his accent. Don't take that.
Lime and black bonnet mini, says Russ. Lime green, says Kev. I'm going to give it the lime green. If you've got the lime green, I'm going to give it Pontiac Trans Am Firebird, also known as something mobile. Greeny yellow with a black bonnet, says Ian. I'll give you that. Ian. Jerry, lime green. And JMO saying BL colour lime flower. He's quite insistent that it's a lime flower. Here's
Never heard of
JMO.
that.
Yeah. We'll round it up. It's only 6 questions, but we'll round it because it's approaching.
With a padlock for a door.
That's right, yeah.
The steering wheel on the roof.
I'll give you an option. You can either make it to 10 or call it at 10.
Make it to 10.
Make it to 10. All right. If anybody wants to, boys, if any of you want to log off because it's knocking on your choice, but we're going to go up to 10 because Brian said so. And we're already at question 6. What make of car did Colombo famously drive? Somebody already mentioned this earlier on. So hang that thought, boys. We'll give it 10 seconds in the chat. I think, I'm going to go to you first, Laz, for the answer for this because I think you mentioned it. But we'll give it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We need a clock, a remote control clock up here. Jerry saying, sorry, that's the Guido mobile. Okay. Russ is saying that it's a Peugeot. All right. Russ is the first one that's come through. Laz, my friend, I think it was you that actually said this earlier on about Colombo's car, was it?
I think it's a Peugeot 403, a convertible.
Okay. Mick, any idea on that?
Colour.
Mick?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was a Peugeot, yeah. I know that for sure. And it was rusty and clapped out, the team says.
Kev said it was a jalopy. Ian said it was Peugeot rusty clapped out. I'm not sure that's a model, but get the idea.
Given that it was in America, it's not a Peugeot, it's a Peugeot. Because that's how they pronounce it. Peugeot.
Mark, are you going with the same?
Yeah, I did know it was a Peugeot, but I didn't know what. I knew it was a convertible, but I didn't know what it was.
You're the first one to mention convertible, mate. So I'll give you extra bonus point to Martin there for mentioning convertible. Luke.
It's
After me.
But it's a pug. It's a pug.
And I tell you what, I just watched the documentary on Peter Falk today. That Peugeot was left by a French actor there in America after completing the movie. And they picked that car because they wanted to give something special for Peter Falk to play Columbo. And that's why he picked that car. I think it was sold a couple of years ago for $400,000. Same condition, nothing's.
You're going to say it's a very
nothing.
Yeah.
It's a very rare car, even in France. It's a very rare car. So imagine,
it is.
imagine
It
in
is
America.
a rare car.
Yeah.
They wanted a car that looked as shabby as he was.
And JMO, just to boost that, I say it still exists too.
Yes,
so,
yes, he is
yeah.
in a private hand. Yes.
You get it all here, folks. Your diecast and your history lessons. Thanks to Laszlo Collectibles for that. Where are this question 7? Oh, a British question, boys. What kind of car does or did, I'll say did, because John Thoreau sadly passed away. What kind of car did Inspector Morse drive? The version of this, I think we all know what the manufacturer was. Which model was it?
Martin,
I'm going to do the obvious. I'm not going to hang about here. We're going to go with the obvious one. Dare, come on.
I'm not saying what it is.
I love him. I love him to bits.
I'm not saying what it is. You guys carry on.
If you say I agree with
it would be
someone, that's just copying out.
Martin, just tell me.
Yeah, no,
Just tell me.
It'll be unfair for me to say it was Citroen. You know, everybody know what it is.
But which Citroen? That's the question. Which one?
Excellent. What we got here? Right, Kev, it said it's a Mark Jag. Okay. I think he's mistyped. Yes, he has. I'm sorry, Kev. I'll read the next line. It said it's a Mark II.
Mark
Jag.
II.
Mark II. Russ is saying it's a Mark II. Is anybody on screen saying anything different than Mark II Jag? No. Bri, controversial.
It's not as big as that. It's a Mark II 2.4. It's not. It wasn't a 3.2. It's a 2.4.
Oh, hello. Oh, we got a controversy.
It's no good googling it, then, Brian.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not. Answer me. I'm not googling.
Yeah, now
It was.
Now.
But what?
Here we go. War's broken out of the Mark.
How can you tell the Mark I and the Mark II on the front?
The back.
No,
Different grill.
from the
Different
front of the
grill.
car. How can you tell a Mark I and
Is
a
it the
Mark II?
headlights?
Is that the grill? Different.
What's the main feature? There is another feature, but the main feature.
Shape
John
of the grill?
Thor's driving.
One at a time. Come on, chaps. So I'll give something in chance in the chat. If you look at the front of the car, there's one feature what takes it from the Mark II to the Mark I.
All right, let's have a see what we've got. Let's just read down some of the answers in the chat, and if anybody comes across Mark's question, fair dues. Kev said Mark II Jag. Russ, Mark II Jag. JMO, Mark II Jag 3.2. Jag Mark 2.8 4-door saloon in wine, says Ian. Or a Mark II 2.8. So we've got us 2.8 to 3.2s going on. Russ is saying the difference is indicators. Ian is saying the lights. And Jerry's saying, fuck it, I've never watched Inspector Morse. They didn't say fuck it, I just added that bit on and I shouldn't have done because that's bad language. And I've just realised I'm on YouTube. My apologies.
Yes, you've done it.
That's this show cancelled.
Yeah.
So, Mark, do you want to give a definition?
I don't know. That's why I asked the
You
question.
don't know the answer.
I think.
No, I do. Yeah, it's the bumper. It's the bumper.
Bumper.
The front bumper.
Bumper, says Mr. Martin Dare. And who am I to
That's a
disagree
clue.
with Mr.
Override.
Jaguar himself?
Yes.
Override.
No, the bumper itself is
Oh,
one of them is a straight bumper, and one has got a dip in the middle where the grill is. Dips down and
Mark,
go there.
in the grill on the Mark 1 at the bottom, more like the bottom of an egg, and the Mark 2 slightly fatter.
Yeah, yeah. But the grill, the front bumper is wider, yeah, and it's like that, and it dips down. If you have a look at Mark 1 and the Mark 2,
I'm
you'll
going
see
to
the
be
difference.
rude and jump in because Jerry's saying
Apart from the headlights, obviously there was the additional. They blanked out. There was fog lights, and they blanked out the fog light. Put a grill in as well. So and the indicator. So they're all right. What you're saying, but the main feature was when you look at the front of a Mark 1 and Mark 2 is a bumper.
The tip where the grill is, you're saying.
In front of that.
I'm going to jump in a bit.
Yeah, no, it's a bumper itself. The bumper itself is bigger.
Just jump in for
Yeah.
a second and say good night to Jerry.
Night, Jerry.
His dinner's
Jerry.
on. So Jerry's
Hi,
out
Jerry.
of here. So good night, Jerry. Thanks for joining us, mate.
No, Jerry.
Did we settle on whether it
Bye,
was a
Jerry.
3.2 or a 2.8?
2.4.
Inspector Morse's, 2.4, a small one, baby
2.4.
one.
All right, so
Baby
controversy all around about the Jag, but I'm going with because he'll slap me if I don't.
What does the
that'll
AI
be-
say?
What did you say? 2.4.
Yeah, 2.4.
That's fair enough then. All I've got is Jaguar Mark II.
Oh,
That's the answer. 8. What is the famous? Oh, didn't know this. This might draw some one.
But this is
some
cheating,
strange
because
answers.
you know.
What is the name of the futuristic police car used in RoboCop? Wow.
Oh, it's.
Oh, that's
I know what it
look
is.
at steam coming out of ears and smoke and stuff. I'm glad
No
I'm
idea.
I've seen the film and all, but I can't focus on the picture of the car.
You know what? I'm
know
gonna
the
be generous
brand
here.
and the
I'm gonna say,
maker, but
if you know the manufacturer, the car manufacturer, I'll give you a point for the car manufacturer. And it's
I think I know.
well-known manufacturer.
Probably.
So we'll see the first person to come up with it in
Hands up, hands up.
in the chat. Have you got the answer?
You know, I ain't got a computer, mate, so I'm screwed anyway.
Well,
Can I
Ross-
say the answer?
We'll give it another 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because my man Russ is on the ball. Go on, lads.
I think it's a Ford.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
Is
I think
that,
it's
is that,
because
is
there's
that
a
as
big.
far as you're prepared?
Yeah,
Is that as far as
it's
you're prepared to
it's an
go?
American Ford, because in the movie you can see the big badge on the front. It doesn't say Ford, but you can see the badge on the front of the car, because they made it futuristic. But I think it's a Ford.
I'm gonna say that's got to be worth a point, 1.5 points, because I couldn't even remember that it's a Ford. So
It is a Ford.
yeah, good call.
Considering it was set in Detroit.
It's a Ford Taurus. 1980. Well, Rusty's put it again more detail. 1986 Ford Taurus Interceptor. So there you go.
It's a flat, a very 80s car.
Ian never watched it. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Fair dues. Nukem, the game for all the family. Yes, I remember that.
I remember that,
in the film. Yeah. This silly question, silly answer, really. What is the name of the family car in the Flintstones?
Oh, God.
Yabba dabba doo.
It's a.
Chevrolet.
I don't know. But
You know, I'll see,
Metallo.
I'll see if anybody gets this in the chat. Please don't Google it. It's too easy.
I don't know, but it's a definite MOT failure because it's got no floor pans.
I heard great.
Yeah, I thought it was a Morris Marina. They ain't got no floor either.
We've got 40 of these boys, so we're going to do it. We're just going to do it to 10. But we've got plenty to say for next time. My man Russ, he's on the ball. Isn't he? You know, anybody on screen got an answer for this one?
Not a
Kind of
Scurvy.
clue,
No.
mate. I think it's
No,
It's a Chevrolet Pedalo.
is that right?
Yeah.
an upside down Fiat 500.
Bruce.
Yeah.
It's apparently called, as Russ has pointed out, the Flintstone Mobile or the Flint Mobile.
The Flintmobile sounds
That's a
pretty
That's
cool.
like saying
actually.
the Batmobile on Batman, isn't it? You know, it's a bit shit, really.
Yeah, Flintmobile. I like that. I do like that. Actually.
I'm gonna ask this question. We may have to go on to 11 because 10 is. Has anybody heard of the show called My Mother the Car?
No.
We'll
No.
skip that question.
One over the bike.
Yeah, yeah. For the last hour and a half, Luke thinks we've been talking a different language compared to him. Bless. Right. 2-point question. 2-point question. Because we all know what the car is going to be. But have you got the year? What car did Starsky and Hutch famously drive? Now, we all know what the car is. But can you get the year? Go Google it. If you Google it, you're out of here. Got to think about it, boys. Hands up, no typing.
Yep,
Hands
that's
up,
why I
no
put them
typing.
here. So,
I'm holding my phone here. I can only put one hand up.
I have the same brake shoes as Fred Flintstone, says Russ. 1974 Gran Torino, Russ says. Okay. I'm gonna. So because we've got one answer up, I'll go around the boys. Mark, any thought?
Yeah, I've got the Gran Torino, but not the year.
I agree.
Okay.
With that.
Here you have in your mind.
I can't remember when I was born last, so don't worry about getting the car right.
I think it's a 1970
1970. All right,
issue.
we've got a.
I'm going to say 76.
74, we've got a
I
72.
think 76, Mick.
I think 76.
Mick and
76.
Brian going with 76. Laz, you said it was 70.
70.
Do you want to take? Do you two boys want to take a leap of faith on the year? Mark, Luke,
75.
says Mark. Go on, Luke. You might as well. Got nothing to lose.
76.
Luke, oh, beauty, saved itself at the end. It is a 1976 Ford Torino.
That's one, Mick.
Grand Tourer. So Mick, Brian, Luke, you jummy devil. Ford, the 76 at the end. Do you remember Starsky and Hutch?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just checking.
No, we're not talking about the movie, Luke.
Sure, the remake.
Not the movie, the TV series.
Used to watch them straight after the Flintstones.
Quick question before we move to the next. Quick question before we move to the next question.
No, we're done.
Is
You go.
what was
you
the
go.
what? No, shut up. What was the next? What was the car? This is because I don't know what it is. In what was the car that Eddie Murphy drove in Beverly Hills Cop? The first
Chevy
one.
Nova.
Chevy Nova.
Nice,
Yep.
didn't know that.
Remember at the start, somebody turned around and said, "You still got that crappy blue Chevy Nova."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Chevy Nova. Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
I just couldn't remember what it was. I could picture it, but I couldn't see it.
Right, we've got 30 of these questions in the back pocket for next time round. So in 2 weeks' time, 1970 Chevy Nova, says Russ. And if Russ says it's a 1970 Chevy Nova, it's a 1970 Chevy Nova. So there you go, Mark.
Is there something got phone going on somewhere?
Don't know. Not me.
Yeah, mine. But
All my
It's-
friends are
it's
online, so it's
disturbing the
not
screen.
me.
Not me.
That's really sad, isn't it? My thanks to Mr. Martin Dare, Mr. Luke Sampson, Laz from Laszlo Collectibles, Mick for taking a brave leap of faith and doing this with
Oh,
us.
thanks for having me on board. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Brian Gray for filling in as well. Good crew, good laugh, good fun, good chat. Thanks to our irregular regulars for joining us. Anybody wants to take this up, you need a webcam and a mic, and you're more than welcome. We will welcome anybody with that desperate. And maybe
Well,
we get my mum to do it in
you could
4
use
weeks'
just
time. So
you don't have a webcam. You just got you can have your phone, can't you?
If you've got a mobile phone,
That's what I use.
PJ, can I just interject
It's usually-
before everyone goes?
you can.
There's a channel that I found. I will post it on the DMC, and it's a chap who analyzes Jerry Anderson models and tells you what they were based on.
Oh.
So you get freeze frame of like the crab logger, and it's like this bit is a part of an Airfix model, this part is a lemon squeezer, but there's lots of vehicles in it.
Who I might wet me? That'd be
Yes,
like
so
pornography to me.
I'll
send me
get
that.
the link and I'll post it in the
I'll
thing.
have a
It's
look.
really interesting. There's a couple of bits that they use over and over again, a couple of tanks, toy tanks and things. But yeah, I'll do it. I'll post it.
Right, the nut balls will be online next Friday in the tavern. If you want to come and join us, it gets a bit raucous, but some of us like it. It's a bit strong for others, but come and join us if you want to join us. We've got Phil's joined us recently, and bless him, he keeps coming back.
Absolutely.
I have to keep sending him a $5, but that's besides the point. That's not true. We encourage people to come and join us, but it is done in the style of a tavern, so it can be a bit raucous. We have also got on June the 15th. Myself, Martin, I think Luke.
Yeah.
Brian will no. I'll go into Stafford Toy Collectors Fair. Somebody else said that.
Phil.
I think
Phil
it was Phil
said he would.
Yeah.
Phil and Moz.
Phil's gonna drive
And
down.
Moz is coming up.
Moz said he was coming up
Yep.
from Moz 6510 Models. If you want to meet Moz, if you want to meet Martin Dare, and believe me, people do want to meet Martin Dare. It's happened twice now. I'm not going to blow smoke up his backside, but people will say, "Are you Martin Dare?" as he walks around. It's quite frightening. There's Werner.
Like his own little fan club.
He's got his own fan club going on. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you want to come
Yes, he
and
needs a
join
bigger security team now, doesn't he, PJ?
yeah, well, that's what me and Luke are there. We just stand behind him and keep the.
I just broke up and make the team, mate. Don't get me involved in that.
Yeah,
I'd love to see his head get kicked in.
That's a bit harsh.
Harsh.
A bit harsh. All good fun. We love it when we get to get together and have a laugh.
It's past me toast
He's on
time.
toast. So,
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Ross is saying, thanks, PJ, Luke, Mick, Brian, Martin, and Laz, and all in chat. You are most welcome. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
If we don't see you in the tavern.
See you Friday.
From me, from Martin, from Luke, from Mick, and Brian, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
TTFN.
PJ
Bye,
signing out.
guys.